Hey guys, how is it going? My name is Joshua and you're watching About 5 Design. So this morning I was working on a project. I was about to work on a project for the YouTube channel and I had like 10 minutes of reflection and I thought I would answer one of the questions I get asked the most by younger designers, and it's the subject of imposter syndrome, right? And as you can tell from the title, I'm talking about imposter syndrome. So imposter syndrome basically is the idea that you are not good enough, that you are not as good as people think you are. And I don't think I've met someone that doesn't feel this way. Because the fact that you are feeling that way is like, it means that you're actually offering something in your field or in your academics or something. So people are seeing you to be really good, to be smart. And I would know so much about that because ever since I was young, I've always been in that spotlight. I've always been the kind of person people think is smart. In fact, if I put on my glasses now, I look nerdy as fuck. But I always have these moments in my solitude where I realize that I'm not as good as people think I am, or as good as people say that I am. And that, as a designer, like coming into the design career right now, I think it happens the most when you have a lot of people hyping up your work, for example, and you have a lot of people that you know are better than you. You see what better designers are doing and you see what you are doing, and it's feeling like such a mountain to climb for you to get better. In my opinion, I feel like that happens a lot when you are not doing anything. Here's the most effective cure for imposter syndrome that I've had in my life, right? Whenever I do something nice, like whenever I create cool shit, generally, I hardly feel that imposter syndrome. I will explain, because it seems counterintuitive right now. Because the idea of imposter syndrome is that you are so down, you don't even want to work, and you're asking me to work and do something that looks cool, right? So here's the thing. First of all, take all your focus off what people think about you. Like, you acknowledge if you think you are not good enough. Because I'm sorry my thoughts are scattered right now because this was just a spur of the moment thing. I didn't prepare any script or anything. Here's my advice, right? So it's either your imposter syndrome is legit, because are we saying that all imposter syndromes are non-legit? Are we saying that we are always as good as people think we are? Or are we sometimes better, even better than what people think we are? I would say that it's both cases, actually, because in my life, I have seen myself be worse than people think I am. And what I say is this: people see me as Joshua, the guy that has it all together. I've won some awards. I'm not talking about awards you pay for. I've won some competitions. I've done this and that. I'm a good graphic designer. So people think of me as a guy that has it all figured out. There are rumors about me, literally, and I take those things and I see what people are saying that are actually true, that I'm proud of, and I see other things that people are saying that I'm like, wow, if only they knew who I am, like a real person. If that's the case with you, that you are sure, you've done your internal reflection, you've taken away what people say, what people are saying in any way. Think about how good people think you are, and if you can measure it at all, and you can truly say that you are below par, then I would say keep your head down and work on yourself. That's the only way to get rid of imposter syndrome, right? It takes dedication. It takes, to be better at your craft, it takes months at least. I won't tell you it takes days. It may not take you years, but to make significant change in your career will probably take you months, right, of dedication. Just keeping your head down. And I'm talking like every day working on your craft. It's something that I have done, and it's something that I will advise you to do. Like, get up every day to work on your craft. The imposter syndrome will be gone in no time. You would see and the best cure for imposter syndrome is seeing visible progress. When you can measure the difference between where you are now and where you were before, you look back and see how far you've come. You know that you are on it. It's an upward progression. your imposter syndrome dies down, like suddenly. Now, here's another thing. If you are good, if you think you are good, and somehow you still have that imposter syndrome that you are not good enough, but you are consistently working on it, right? It doesn't mean imposter syndrome will not come. If it comes, my advice is create something cool. I'm talking to creators generally and creative people. Just create something cool, do cool shit, like start a project. If you're not too seriously busy or too jam-packed with your schedule at that time, just do something cool, do something that create something you are proud of, because part of what causes imposter syndrome is, in a while you've not had that euphoric feeling of achievement, like, oh shit, I did this, right? So, and this happened to me recently. Actually, I recently worked on a project called the Half Full Project. And before that project, I knew how I was feeling. And that's happened to me multiple times before. Once I created that, and my friends, my contacts, everybody went, wow, like, wow, this is so cool. It's like when people are saying you are good, and there's an evidence of that you're pointing at this work and saying, wow, this is really good. It's different from when people are saying you are good and you feel like you have nothing to show for it. They're just saying it because of what they think. Right? So I'm not sure if this makes sense. I feel like it's a different point of view from everything you may have seen on the internet about imposter syndrome. So I'm not highly recommending it. I'm just telling you what has worked for me. Facing imposter syndrome, and I seriously know that I'm not good enough, because it's one thing to be caring about what other people say, and it's another thing to be truly self-conscious. Like, be conscious of yourself, know yourself, be true to yourself. I have this mantra I say to myself, among any other things. So I say, above all, do not lie to yourself. I don't know where I got that from, but I've always said that in my head every time. Above all, do not lie to yourself, right? So once you're not lying to yourself about how good you are, you think you're not good enough, and people are saying you are good, get better, focus on working, get down to business, put your head down, get away from the spotlight as soon as possible, and for as long as you can, until you get better. Or if you are actually good and you are still feeling like you are not good enough, do some cool shit. I hope this helps you. I would know if I'm going to post this video after I edit it, if it makes sense in a way. So I'm hoping it helps someone out there. Hope you're doing good, create cool shit, have fun. Bye bye.